Morning traders, and this is your Dax trade setup for today. So first things first, we had a pretty negative day yesterday. I think we ended up down 1.78%, which is pretty close to my maximum risk for the day. So once that happened, we closed up shop and didn't try and trade again. So there were 3 trades that went down, 2 negative, 1 positive, and that was a net result. But anyway, it was a pretty sideways day except for this instrument. Now, this engulfing red bar on the daily, which has opened on its high and closed on its low, very little tails, and that is an indication of direction. I'm a bit reluctant to read too much into it because there's my fractal. That's what I'm looking for, the break on the daily. So at the moment, this is just testing the alligator for me. Okay, it does look like the alligator is going to sleep, which is true, but it doesn't really look like it's turning. So if we look at the 3 hour, we may have a little bit of a different picture here, and that's this picture here. But this is so messy at the moment, I'm not going to read much into it. But we are through the alligator. But we have got diversions, which is this divergence here. As you see, there's low, and there's a lower low. Here's low, and a higher low. So this is normally an indication that we should be moving in the original trend. The original trend was up. You can see pretty much from this fractal here, low, higher low, double bottom, and still another higher low. So the trend is up at the moment, although it's a bit of a confusing trend and very volatile. So if we just start drilling down, you'll see through the alligator, back down the alligator. Now, what I'm seeing at the moment is a lot of buyers. Let's use this area here. So there are buyers coming in here. There were sellers trying to defend this area. There were buyers in the past. I don't think there's anything else. Let's go to the daily just to make sure. That was a previous high, and it's not quite the all-time high, but it was one of the previous highs. And you can see a lot of interaction. A lot of interaction in this area. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Essentially, I would expect, if we do get to this level, I'd expect this to turn into a range. That's the first thing that I would expect. There's my top of the range, there's my bottom of the range, and I'd expect some buyers to step in off here. You've probably got a 40% chance of getting it right. So putting a trade in here, 30-point risk, and I wouldn't risk a full position. I'd probably go in with half a position, normal size. 30 points, you probably get away with 2 to 3 contracts. Yeah, probably 3. That gives me a risk of 100 Rand, or whatever currency you're using, which is pretty much almost a little bit more than half of what my risk should be. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. So looking to take a long off 13064, trading this as if it is a range, and then giving myself a good 30-point stop loss, which should be enough. Give me enough of a gap from below these tails here. Okay, the other thing that I'm looking at is we do have a trend line break as well, but this could just be setting up for a triangle as well. So we could buy a step in here and then start driving it up as well. Okay, but that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. And as I say, you've got a 40% chance of this playing out. So you've got a 40% chance of this being a double bottom. That's essentially what we're looking to play, or a bottom of range. And the same here, you've always got a 40% chance of something turning out to be a double top. So the nice thing about them is that you can sort of take the risk with very low trade. Very low risk. So you can take the trade, but your risk is going to be fairly low. Okay. There's nothing really else that we see here. I'm not even going to try go for fractional breaks, although the fractional breaks on the 12 minutes yesterday was correct. There was a downside fractional, broke, and we tested it a couple of times, and also testing the alligator. So as soon as this break happened here, even though it was a pin bar off the bottom of the trend line, what you could have done is waited for the break below here, or just taken the break off here. And you can see it would have been a little bit slow and methodical and volatile. Then it was just late in the afternoon or US Open that it fell off. It wasn't a major move, but pretty much recovered most of Friday's rally. Okay, so let's just get to the Ichimoku. 12-minute trend is down at the moment. Everything is bearish, as you can see. Bearish, bearish, bearish. So you should be running with this trend. And the only reason it's going to get you out of this is a break above this fractional here, 13,099. Okay. 30-minute. Bearish, 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 although Kijits and Tikins are far apart and flattening out. So that is a bit of a warning sign. You've got a sign, you've got a bit of divergence there. However, the hour is completely different. Okay, so we have bearish, bullish, bearish. So we have mixed signals, and we are in the cloud. So you would expect this cloud to hold. And if you look carefully, that's bottom of range. So even if we do fall to the bottom of the cloud, that would be bottom of range. So it would be worth a stab, 30-point stop loss for a long to see if you're going to get back to the top side of this range. Okay. If we look at the 4-hour, it pretty much is indicating that's kind of what's going to happen. So you can see we've got a bullish crossover, we've got bullish here and bearish on the cloud. So we would expect us to come down towards Kijinson, buy us to step in and to drive this back up. This crossover here is significant, okay, because this is normally what a lot of the traders are looking for, is the golden cross, and that's a golden cross with a very narrow cloud. In other words, there's very little resistance that's going to hold us up. So the probability of us continuing in this channel to the upside is pretty good. And then the daily, which we have a bearish cross, but that's bullish and that's bullish. So for the daily bearish cross to play out, we need to get below this fractional, which is 12,936. Okay, so summarizing that, for me at the moment, what we're looking for is either a bounce off 13,061, or alternatively, I'm looking for a 13,100, sort of a break above that for a move back to 13,178. Okay, that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment, and unless there's some big news coming out sometime soon, I think that's pretty much what's going to play out. Okay, anyway guys, that's my view for the DAX. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.